Three, two, one. What's up, everyone? MonroeMann here with good on YouTube. His handle is it Mr. Goodkat?
Yeah, Mr. Goodkat, yeah.
Mr. Goodkat. Here we are. Do you want to share your real name, or want to stick with Mr. Goodkat?
Steve. Steve's my real name.
Okay, we're gonna go with Steve. First name Steve. We had this scheduled for tomorrow at 7:30, and Steve thought it was today. I thought it was tomorrow. We weren't really sure what. And I said, "Are you free now?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "So am I." So let's do it. We got 3 likes already. We haven't even started. So I'm hoping those 3 people who clicked like before will still find their way back to the stream either after we record it or maybe they jump in right now. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing good, man. Just got off work. I hurried to get home because I thought it was today. I think it confused me because I think yesterday you said it was tomorrow. So, so I was like, oh, okay. So that's why I thought it was.
Whatever. There was a miscommunication. It happens. We're
But
here.
we're here. We're here.
and
We
and
made it.
that is the most important thing. The thing that interested me most was the fact that you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have 2 twins.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the definition, right? Two.
Yep. Boy, girl
Otherwise,
twins, yeah.
it'd be triplets or a single baby. So you had twins, and when you had these twins, when your wife had twins, you were working at a minimum wage job, paying $7.50 an hour.
Yeah, 725.
Oh my gosh! Even
725.
and
Yeah.
and so I'm just curious because we're talking about what were we talking about during that brought that up? Do you remember? Was it about
Um, I think, yeah, we're just talking about some politics and the economy and things like that. And I just mentioned it.
okay? So it doesn't matter where we come up with it, but I think somebody in the chat was asking about, maybe it was you or somebody else, like how the best pace for young people to become the adult that they need to be, how a
Yeah.
boy
Yeah.
can become a man, type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I asked that about just how do you because I feel like a lot of younger men nowadays it's such a struggle for them. I see so many guys that just they either they're with a partner that's ready for the next step and it's just like they won't commit, or they do end up having a kid and stuff and they just can't handle it and it all falls apart. And 'cause it's a lot of stress once you're responsible for somebody you know
Absolutely. So let's take that a step further. What's up, Eric? What's up, Abdul? Thanks for the 5 hearts. I think you're sending those. Appreciate that. We're here with Steve. Are you married now?
Yes. Yep.
So Steve is married. When he had twins, he and his wife, he was working at a job making $7.25 an hour. And we were talking about the economy in another live stream, and this just came up. Steve was in the chat. What's up, Abdehakim Mohammed and Eric Zilch, Abdul Karim? Great to see you guys. Steve is just telling us a little bit about the reality check that he had when, oh my gosh, I'm about to have twins and I'm working at a job making $7.25 an hour. And I'm assuming your 2 kids are still alive. They didn't die from malnutrition and not eating.
Yep,
So
they're still alive, and I got 2 more now, so I have 4. I have 4
you got
altogether.
4 now. Would you tell a little bit about the story about what went through your mind when you realized, oh my gosh, I'm having twins, and I'm working at $7.25 an hour job? What did you think?
Well, the first thing I knew is I knew I had to do something different, but I didn't know what. So I just started applying everywhere I could and just started accepting any job offer that come my way that just paid a little bit better, and I just started just working my way up, putting
Yep.
myself out there. It's scary when you're a young guy and you've only ever had one job and you don't think you're good at anything else, and you know it's it can be really daunting, but you put yourself out there and try your best, and things tend to work out as long as you just keep trying. Just keep just 1 foot forward, 1 foot forward.
1 for 4. That's beautiful advice. Did you? How long did you? What went through mentally in your mind? Were you scared when you realized? What were you more scared about? Having twins? These are your first babies, before you're, because I know you have four now, was it more a concern about, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a father, or oh my gosh, I'm going to have twins, or oh my gosh, I'm going to be a father with twins and I don't have the financial wherewithal to support these two little tykes?
Mostly just the financial responsibility, but for me, I love kids, so I had no problem with the idea of being a father, but trying to figure out how to provide for them and everything and give them everything they want. That to me, that was the biggest struggle.
Absolutely. Yeah, at E39, we are both Americans. We are both
Hmm.
Americans. My name is Monroe Mann. This is Steve, aka Mr. Goodkat, who's a fellow YouTuber on here. And I invited him onto the stream to share this interesting story about how he went from being a quote unquote a boy to a man very quickly, because when he realized these two kids were on the way, he really had to step up. And you need a green card, don't we all? We all need it. The simplest way to get a green card, I am an attorney, I used to be an immigration attorney, is go get green colored paper from the craft market, put your name on it, cut it out, and guess what? You have got a green card with your name on it. It is 100% valid. It is a real green card, just not for immigration purposes. And what's up, Jesus? Just got back over. See ya. Hello, Elizabeth Peterson. Great to have you. My name is Monroe. This is Steve. And we're talking about parenthood and growing up and just how do you provide for your family. My dad died about 7 years ago. And that was of course that's sad when your parent dies. But in some ways I became the man of the family because I had to start caring for my mom, who's elderly. And I've never had a real girlfriend. I've never been married. I don't have kids. For me, that was a moment for me of growing up. Even though I was older, or else I was around 40 years old when I had to step into that role. And helping my mom is a big responsibility for me now. And I understand how you must feel. I know it's a different feeling, I'm sure, if you're having your own kids, as opposed to you have to take care of another family member. But I still think it changes your life in an important way, and you have to step up. And
Yeah.
one thing, and let me ask you, as a dad and as someone who went through this, I don't like when people blame their success. I'm using blame their failure for success, meaning they failed to achieve something that they want to do in life, and they blame it on their kids, or they blame it on I have to take care of my mom, or because of my cousins, or because of this person in my life, I was not able to achieve something. And I think that's kind of insulting. So you're blaming some other person for why you are not who you want to be. How do you feel about that? Because I know having two kids, twins, and then having two other kids, that's a huge financial responsibility, a big emotional responsibility, social responsibility. Do you feel my sentiment that you shouldn't blame other people in your life for your failure to achieve dreams? Or can you relate now that you have four kids?
Yeah, actually, there was a little while there where that was something I kind of struggled with. My oldest daughter, she's very active. She right now she's in modeling. She's in three different soccer teams. She plays at an elite level. She plays in recreation soccer. She plays at school soccer. She does jujitsu, track, all that stuff. It's very expensive. And there was for a while there, I caught myself. I stopped going to her games and stuff, and I realized that it was almost like I had some sort of resentment towards her because of how much money I'd had to spend on her because things she liked to do, and I just realized it was an immaturity within myself. It took me a little while to realize that's what was going on, and I was like, this isn't right. Like I should be happy that she's getting to do all these things. So yeah, I mean, I definitely kind of see, um, I recognize that, and it made me realize, that's something that I have to deal with myself, and you know has nothing to do with her.
Absolutely. Let's come back to that in a second. What's up, Elizabeth Peterson? Yes, both of us are from the United States. Uh, Speaking for myself, I'm from New York originally, and now live in Florida. Steve, did you want to share?
I'm from Texas, Fort Worth, Texas.
Steve is in
Born
Fort
and
Worth,
raised.
Texas. Born and raised, a Texas boy. Elizabeth is from Los Angeles. And what's up, CLVR? Earlier today, I had a live stream, and CLVR joined me. We were talking about music, and his favorite instrument is the trumpet. My favorite instrument is the guitar. If you like music, check that out. And what Steve said about he had resentment of his daughter, all the money that he spent on them, but he also recognized, no, that's an immature way of thinking. Because, and I'm glad you say that too. I think you're completely right. I think everybody has these feelings of, why am I in this situation? This isn't how it should be, or I shouldn't have ever had children, or why am I stuck caring for this person, or why is this going this? And if only I didn't have that person in my life, I could do this. We're all just using that as an excuse to cover for our own laziness, to cover for
Yeah.
our own whatever. It's not about those other people, it's about us. And I always tell people, like, you never want your daughter or your son or your husband or your wife or your brother or your sister to hear, oh, the reason that he or she didn't feel, let's just use he, the reason why he couldn't succeed is because of me. I mean, I kind of laugh at that. And I would say to anyone who's in that situation, because I know some of you watching are in that situation where you have someone in your life, a friend, a family member, whatever, and you're saying, if only I didn't have to be in this situation, I could achieve great things. Enough with the excuses. Figure out, like in your case, Steve, whenever you're thinking that way, it's like the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. I don't know. Have you read that?
No.
A great book by Robert Kiyosaki. This is the book right here. Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's looking very handsome. And it's about, he grew up with two fathers, basically, quote unquote. One was his real father, who was a superintendent of schools, was always broke, always looking for a quick way to make money. And then there's his best friend, Mike's father, who was the biggest real estate developer in Hawaii. And he learned to listen to his rich dad. And his rich dad always told him, his poor dad always would say, I can't afford this. I can't afford this. I'm sorry. His rich dad would always say, all right, let's figure out how we can afford this. Let's figure out how do we afford this? How can we afford this? And so, like, whenever you're thinking about your child, that don't be thinking, I'm not making enough money for my child, or why am I spending so much money on her sports stuff? Just think, my child, this is great that she's getting to be participate in all these things. How can I earn more money to make this even easier for me, and I can still provide for her? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely. There's always a way to make it happen, you know. And if having a child and seeing them take interest in something, if that's not motivation enough for you to want to make it happen for them, I don't know what is going to be. You know, if they're out of your life, if you think them like if you think if that person wasn't in my life, I'd be able to teach. Nothing's going to motivate you more than that. You know, your kid taking interest in something and possibly because right now my daughter she's starting to be seen by college scouts, all kinds of stuff, and I'm just like, man, like I'm so glad I stuck with this. I'm so glad we got to this point. You know, because
I,
it's opened so many opportunities for her.
you know what you said. By the way, we'll look at the comments in 1 second. What Steve just said is, I'm so glad I stuck with this, and I didn't abandon my daughter, and I didn't allow my own personal resentment to impact my support of her. And look, wow, she's getting scouted by colleges. Steve, probably, I guess your daughter is about 17,
16. Yeah.
16. I've been YouTubing for about 18 years. I started in 2006. So 2020. So my YouTube pursuit is about the same amount of time he's been raising his daughter. So I know you can't compare the two, but I don't have kids. So my kid are my dreams. And you could say that my child is this YouTube channel, which is the same age as his daughter. And I have resented YouTube over the years. I've been angry that I'm spending so much time and money trying to become a successful YouTuber. And yet at the same time, Steve's daughter is finally being scouted by colleges, and he's saying, wow, it was worth it. It's the same way I'm thinking about not giving up on my YouTube dreams because, wow, I'm talking to Steve, who I didn't know a week ago, who's one of my YouTube fans and supporters. And now he is on a YouTube live stream that random people who support me are also watching and who have now become my new fans. So it's a great lesson. I mean, we're talking about how to what was the theme of this? Is how to provide for your family.
Yep.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Don't give up. I'm If everything goes well with this YouTube channel, I mean, some people make millions of dollars from doing what I'm doing right now. And I'm just getting more and more likes, more and more subscribers. Eventually, I'm going to get monetized because I'm getting 40 hours of watch time per day. That's going to reach 3,000 really soon. And it's weird. It's for 16, 17 years prior. It was like, is this ever? Why am I putting so much effort into this little child of mine? Why? Because I'm a good parent and I'm going to provide for my family, and you don't give up on the people in your life who matter to you. In that case, you could say my YouTube channel, but also my mom. I would love to be able to provide for her far better than I am right now. And maybe I can do that through YouTube. Steve, you want to look at some of these comments? What are people
Yeah, I
saying?
just saw Arc Unknown. He was just saying building a family and providing for them is the main motivator to keep pushing harder in business. Yeah, I would definitely encourage anybody out there that wants to start a family, please financially secure yourself first. It's so much easier.
It's so much easier, but I was saying on the other live stream, good now is better than perfect never. That there's never going to be a perfect time to have children. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you could wait, and I just don't want people to use anything as an excuse for something they want to do in life. Don't use lack of money as an excuse for not having starting a family if that's really what you want. Because as Steve said, it was hard, but guess what? He figured it out, and it worked so well. He started two more businesses in the form of his two new kids that ended up arriving. But yeah, if you can be financially secure before you start a family, great. But let's say your financial security was, I'm going to have one kid, and then you find out you're going to have twins. Murphy's law, guys. The worst thing that can happen is what's going to happen, and you think you're going to plan everything, and God is going to laugh at you and throw some monkey wrenches into your plans. Let's
Oh
see
yeah.
what's up, Elizabeth Peterson. Um, so let's see. Da, 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 da. MonroeMann, do you have kids? Nope, no kids. I do. My YouTube channel. Here it is. A beautiful little baby boy. Building a family and providing him. You already said for that. So there, Elizabeth Peterson is saying hi to Peterson Wellington. Is that a coincidence that the two of you have the same exact first and last name? That's really, really curious. Thank you guys for watching. If you find this interesting, please click like. Would love you to subscribe. Do you think having your twin, are they girls or boys? Or are they a
Boy
boy
girl.
and a girl?
Yeah, boy girl.
Boy, girl. CLVR says coincidence. I think not. Yeah, who knows? Maybe they're the same person with two different YouTube handles and they're having a conversation with themselves. It's a strange new world, and that could be it. Do do you feel that you would have hustled so much to become a better provider economically for your wife or your family if you didn't have this added push of having twins on the way?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I think it definitely pushed me harder, for sure. Harder than I probably, yeah, probably harder than I would have gone, in the beginning, for sure.
So I think that's interesting. And when you put people under pressure, if it's the right amount of pressure, it results in success. Meaning, there's the optimal amount of pressure. If you have no pressure, you just are super lazy and you'll take forever and you're not going to do anything. If you have too much pressure, you become so overwhelmed that you just give up and quit. So in the case of Steve's situation, he ended up having the perfect amount of pressure by having these two kids. My guess, I could be mistaken, but I think you probably are farther along now financially than you would have been if you had just gotten married and didn't have these two twins, because it would have been an easier life. Was your wife
Yeah.
working at the time as well?
Yeah, she was.
So that's another reason. I
Yeah.
mean, you both had jobs. You only had to provide for yourself. These two kids maybe put a fire on you and said, you know what? I need to step things up. Oh, before you answer, Elizabeth Peterson wants a Rickroll. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna turn around and hurt you. Steve, can you do the next line? Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Do you know the rest of that song?
Never gonna run around and desert you.
Oh my gosh, guys, give us lots of hearts. Hearts for
That's right.
Monroe and hearts for Steve. You said Rick rolled. You thought nobody was going to do it. Not only did I start singing it, but Rick Astley in the house in the form of Steve, Mr. Goodkat. That was fantastic. I love it. I'm glad to make you happy, Elizabeth Peterson. And what were your thoughts on what I was just saying in terms of my projection that it probably had a great impact on as a turning point in your life?
Yeah, for sure. The right, like you said, the right amount of pressure can really motivate somebody, or it can crush them. A little too much pressure can crush them, and I see that a lot in younger men now. And it's something I try to always talk to people about, especially if I see a younger guy that's struggling, or you know, try to just give them some advice and try to get them whatever kind of help they need.
I think that something that well, people ask me about the military because I was in the military. Were you in the military ever or no?
No.
So it is very difficult. Basic training, that's the whole point of it. It's designed to break you down, quote unquote, and build you up. I think it's more just about breaking you down. But it's so important because you learn that you're able to handle a lot more stress than you think you're able to handle. And that's the whole idea is thank you. Yeah. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing. Mr. Goodkat also has a YouTube channel, so certainly subscribe there.
I
I don't
don't
know.
use it.
He doesn't use it. He uses it only to comment on my live streams and to come on as a guest every once in a while. Yeah, he had unexpected twins. Arc Unknown says to you, Steve, and
Yep.
that's a great title for a top like unexpected twins. What a great analogy for you all should be blessed with unexpected twins in the sense that it's a beautiful thing, but it's also a scary thing that you need to step up or you're going to get bulldozed and run over. And going back to that analogy that I said about the military, you're right. Steve said if you have too much pressure, it'll run you over and you'll quit. And he said he sees that in a lot of young men today. You guys need to understand that you can handle a lot more pressure than you think. And I think society doesn't train people today. The military does. The military trains you to immediately within the first 2 days of you being in basic training, you were getting yelled at. You're doing push-ups. You're like, what the heck just happened to me? Why did I sign up for this? But when you graduate basic training, you realize, oh my gosh, I did it. I got through this incredibly difficult thing and I thought I was going to fail. I thought I was going to drop out physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I did not think I could do it, and I did. I imagine you having twins was sort of similar form of going through a boot camp.
I don't think it was that extreme, but yes. Yeah.
Let me look at some of these comments. I hope he loves them so much. Of course he does. How could you not? If you have twins, well, I shouldn't speak for him. Do you love your twins very much?
I love all four of my children. Yes.
what what would your advice be to somebody who is doesn't have to necessarily be in the exact same situation of having twins or suddenly finding out that he's going to be a father, but to anyone watching, what is a lesson that you learned from that experience of the unexpected twins and then stepping up and becoming a provider as a father? What's a great lesson for everybody?
The biggest thing is don't give up. That's the number one. The second thing is embrace change. Don't be afraid, because like you said, life's gonna hit you sideways. You're not gonna be able to plan for everything. Things are gonna change constantly. You have to embrace it. You have to run with it, or it's not gonna work out. I mean, that's one of the biggest things I had to learn was to embrace change. Don't be afraid of change, because just because
Embrace
something's
change.
changing, it doesn't mean it's a negative thing. It always usually turns out to be something positive.
Hey, Arc Unknown, can you type in the chat embrace change in all capital letters? And I'm going to pin that because I think that's actually a follow up theme to being a provider from your family. It's also embrace change because that's really what it is. How can you be a provider for your family? Embrace change. Accept that things are different now. Accept that, okay, I have to do something different now in order to be a provider for my family. Let's look at some of these comments. Let me pin that first. All right, so we pinned that. Elizabeth says, "My life is hard, but when we put our mind to it, we can make it work." Absolutely. And again, I keep going back to this idea that I've been doing YouTube for almost 20 years, and only in the last 2 weeks has it started to take off for me. And don't give up. Keep trying. Provide for your family. That is good. My fiance's dream is to have twins. Steve, you know better than me, but that's not something that is there any way that you can guarantee twins? I don't think you can plan for that, really, right? And say I hope it's just something that happens if you're blessed with twins. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's more likely. Obviously, I think if like your wife or something was a twin or had twins, in their bloodline or whatever, I think it's more likely. But
Did your wife or did you have twins in your heritage?
no,
Okay, but so you're saying that because you've had twins, your two twin, the daughter and son, they are more likely than other people to potentially have twins again?
yeah, don't quote me on that, but I think so.
Okay, are you just making stuff up, Steve?
I might be. I might be.
Mr. Goodkat has been known to share his own biological theories at times. And a leopard cannot change its spots. That is true, but a leopard could also end up losing a twin brother that he or she was born with. That is change. A leopard could end up being a father or mother to other little cubs. That is change. What's up, Dafu Q Boom? I think that's a great lesson. That no, the number one thing that Steve got from having twins and being thrust into that very scary, exciting but scary, anxious but hopeful environment was embrace change. There are a lot of people who I think we know that all the time that there are people who have babies and then they put the baby in front of a fire department where they have a place where you can leave a baby because for whatever reason that person felt she could not care for the mother. By the way, I give a shout out to any of you who give birth to a child, and if you feel you cannot support that baby, you do give that baby to somebody at a police department or a fire department so that the baby can find a good home. It's terrible. Sometimes you find out when literally sometimes you find a baby left in a trash can or left, and like that person did not embrace change. That person panicked and did something the opposite of what Steve and his wife did, which was to embrace it and step up and let's take care of these little muskrats. Love me, love my dog. Elizabeth, we both love you and we both love your dog as well. So, absolutely. He's not the real one. There's no way. CLVR, who's not the real one? What the heck is he talking about there? Do you know what he's talking about?
I do not.
You are not King Baldwin. I am not King Baldwin. I am Monroe Man, and this is Steve, aka Mr. Goodkat, as he's known here on YouTube. For those of you who are just joining, my name is Monroe Man. I have a PhD in psychology. I'm an attorney. I all around funny guy, and I just like doing YouTube videos. I found YouTube Live about 2 weeks ago, and it's just been taking off. I've got special guests here like Mr. Goodkat, who started out as just one of my fans, and now he's a special guest sharing some of his wisdom as a father of four children, one of whom is getting scouted by colleges now, and talking about his adventures as a dad. What is your best memory as a father so far?
My best memory. Um, I got it. I mean, just every time one of my kids was born, just being there. That's my best memory so far.
Did you take videos of when they were being born and this and that? You can
No,
show the kids. I don't know if
no.
that's in this modern day of video. And your wife's going, Steve, get that camera out of my face. But darling, I want our child to remember this. Um, Dafuk Boom, he's a famous YouTuber, and that's not the real one. So I don't know what that means. Explanation, love me, love everyone. I have no idea what that means either. Sylvia, like me, I was the normal viewer, and then a few hours ago, I was in the live stream with you. Absolutely, Sylvia. And uh, any of you guys, I mean, if you have an interesting, if you show that you're a good person here in this chat, and if you tell me that and you can show me that you have something interesting to say, I'm happy to invite you to be a guest on here as well. Maybe one day, a year from now, this channel will be blown up so quickly that I have too many people that I can't have everybody on anymore. But for now, I am not a super YouTuber yet. Oh, Dafuk Boom makes animations of Skibidi Toilet. So, Steve, do you have any idea what that's talking about?
I do not.
All right, so I think I'm either so old or I'm so cool that I have no idea what the heck is Skibbity Toilet, and I'm hoping I'm not saying something bad that's gonna get me in trouble. Just look it up after the stream. Skibbity Toilet. I'm frightened. Steve, are you as frightened as I am to look up what Skibbity Toilet is?
A little bit. A little bit.
Something else talking about parenting. I was talking with somebody earlier. No, it's a meme. Okay. All right. Well, Elizabeth from Los Angeles. Yeah, CLVR, send me a video. That would be cool. Love to see that. I was talking with someone, a female friend of mine, who said that she's not sure. She wants to have children, but she's getting older and blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, why don't you think about adopting? Because, uh, as a woman gets older, she loses the ability eventually to have children.
Yeah.
That's just a biological fact of womanhood. There's a period of time when you can't have a child when you're younger. Then you grow up into womanhood, and you've got a womb that can hold a baby and be fertilized. And then eventually, once you get to a certain age, you cannot do that anymore. Because I've always thought of adopting children. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I'm getting older. Obviously, as a man, it's a little bit easier potentially because a man doesn't have that timeline when he must have children. But I've always thought of adopting kids, and that's something each of you can consider when you're older. You don't have to. I've learned that blood doesn't necessarily, they say blood is thicker than water. I say family is thicker than blood. What do I mean by that? Is some people who are quote unquote biological family may not be the closest people in your lives, and somebody who's not a blood relative could be someone who you treat as a son or as a daughter or maybe you have someone who's not your biological father or mother, but that you look up to that person as someone who you really admire. And I know that I could be an amazing dad to someone. It doesn't even need to, it could be a 17-year-old and someone who just needs help trying to find college. This person said to me, "Oh, you would adopt like a 17-year-old?" And I'm thinking, well, yeah, doesn't everybody need somebody in their life to guide them and support them? Why not? Because it's harder. It's Everybody wants to adopt the newborns.
Hmm.
Everyone wants to adopt the cute little twins who are 2 years old. In Orphan Annie and all those movies about orphanages, who are still in the orphanages, the ones who are 10 years old, 12 years old, 16, etc. What are your thoughts, Steve, on adoption? Have you ever thought of that?
Um, Me personally, no, I've never felt the need to adopt. I have plenty of kids. I don't need any more. But yeah, I think another thing that could maybe turn people away from adoption is just the thought of what other people are going to think, what other people are going to say. Um, I had to learn that when my kids started getting old enough to go to birthday parties and things like that, then, oh, I have to interact with these other parents now. And
Mm,
it almost makes you feel kind of inadequate sometimes when you meet these other parents and it's like they're way more financially successful. It seems like they just have everything together, and it can just make you feel, you can just make you feel little kind of. And so I could see maybe someone that wants to adopt, maybe they'd be afraid of things like that.
hmm
Other kids having that question, what, why were you adopted, asking your kid that, things like that. And that's just where my mind goes with it.
Absolutely, those are all valid points. One thing struck me when you're saying is that they all seem to be have it all together and be farther along than you would have. What I have learned is nobody has it all together. Some people are just better at faking it. And
Yes.
I think these parents that are making lots of money, quote unquote, guess what? They got their own crazy problems. And maybe they have bigger financial problems than you or me. They just don't show it. Or maybe they don't have financial problems, but they got crazy emotional problems. Or they're struggling with some horrible regret. I mean, or something. I always say don't compare. And it's hard. I do it too. We all compare. It's just human nature. We look at something and go, oh, why does that person have that and I don't? But I think it's important that we force ourselves because I'm sure you're a wonderful father to your four kids. I'm sure your kids absolutely adore you, and ultimately that's what matters. And I think we're too. You often hear about that with parents is, oh, I wish I could get my kids the same thing that the parents down the street. Oh, they were able to buy uh, Johnny a brand new Mercedes for his 16th birthday, and I don't think parenting, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think good parenting is based on well, I'll give you the question and then we'll come back to it because I want to go through some of these chat messages. Good parenting should not be graded based on how much money you make and how many physical things you're giving to your kids. Hold the thought, think about it. We'll come back to that in a second. How equals get a job? What do you mean, Carson? Um,
I think he's talking about our topic, how to provide for your family. You get a job.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I have someone really smart like Steve as my guest who can remind me what the heck we're talking about here. How equals get a job. But Carson, Steve did have a job. He had a job. The issue was he was getting paid $7.25 at the time. And he was able to use the surprise of I'm gonna have twins to inspire him to go get a better job. So you're right, it's about get a job, but I think it's a little bit simplistic too because I think a lot of people have jobs today and we don't make enough money. And I think everything is getting more and more expensive today. Inflation is through the roof and salaries are not going up to match inflation. And it's a very difficult thing. I mean, how to provide for your family, it's not as simple as get a job. I think most people who are adults have a job. The question is, how do you get a better job, one that allows you to live a life free of financial stress? That's the ultimate thing. But also remember, providing for your family does not, as I just mentioned on this question, to like I said to Steve, to hold on to the thought, providing for your family is not just financial. And I think that's the issue. My father, in many ways, was a great man. He made a good deal of money and he provided for his family financially. He in no way provided for me in a fatherly way. He in no way taught me how to be a man. He in no way had father son talks. He was just a guy that made money who I saw every once in a while, and maybe he told a few silly jokes. But I don't think I don't, in one sense, and I know how Steve is, how feels about the financial things when he goes to these meetings with other parents and they're making more than him. I make significantly less money than my father. My father made massive amount of money. We had 3 Rolls Royces when I was growing up. Like, wow. And I didn't realize it at the time, but we were sort of kind of wealthy. And then in his later years, he wasn't doing so well, and the Rolls Royces got sold, and then didn't have proper life insurance for my mom, and so I had to do some financial wrangling to try to fix everything. And that's what I'm saying, where I had to step up and become the man. But I provide for my mom not just financially by helping manage her finances and this and that, and help her find more ways to make money through investments, but I help her emotionally in the best way that I can to help her because she doesn't have her husband anymore to help. My mom has given me so much in my life. I'm trying to step up and be a good son for her. It's not just about money. And let me actually jump back to your response to that, because it's something from the comments. And what are your thoughts on the fact that providing for a family is not just a financial responsibility?
The first thing I think of is right now, because my kids are starting, they're in high school. Um, they have so many friends that they tell me the crazy stories about. My daughter, she's had this best friend since they were 5, maybe, doing tumbling classes together. And now her friend, she's already sexually active. She's going off to parties. She's doing all this crazy things, and there's a different. You can be there. There's a difference between being there for your kid and just providing for your kid. You know,
Uh,
and
I'm just
it
going to stop you
it's
right there because I think that was brilliant. And then we go. You said there's a difference. Let me see if I get it right. There's a difference between providing for your kid and being there for your kid. I think that is wonderful. I want to make it clear too that my father was there for me. Like when I needed him, he did have some talks, this or that, but I don't think he really knew how to be a dad. I don't think he really knew how to make an emotional connection. I was kind of like another client of his. He was a lawyer, and so if I went to him as a client, that's the type of advice he would always give me. It was always kind of a legal, clinical response. And I'm glad that you recognize that, Steve, because I imagine you apply that when you're with your 4 kids, and that you were there. You are there. What does that mean then? To be there for your 4 kids.
you basically have to be really annoying. You have to constantly be like, "What's going on in your life? What happened today?" You know, who said this? What happened about that conversation? To the point where your kids are just almost sick of you. And as long as you do that, you're probably doing a pretty good job.
That's great. But we're getting a lot of great parenting advice here. As long as if your kids are sick of you, you're doing a great job. To anyone who's new here, would love you to leave a like. Would love you to subscribe. My name is Monroe Mann, joined here with Steve, aka on YouTube, Mr. Goodkat. I talk about a ton of different subjects. Today, our focus is how to provide for your family. Ark Unknown says, I was raised by my community more than my blood family, and sort of raised myself. Family's bigger than blood. Yeah, that is my perspective. Definitely none of us are perfect no matter how much money we got. That is true. So many people chase money thinking that money is going to solve every problem. And if that were the case, like I said, my good friend Chris Farley, quote unquote friend, I never met him, the famed comedian, was beloved by America. He had so many fans, so many friends, had more money than he knew what to do with. And guess what? He died of a cocaine drug overdose. Well, if fame and fortune and money were all that we needed in our lives, he wouldn't have done that. And he wouldn't have been forced to go and do all these drugs to kind of take him away from his life. So money doesn't bring happiness or love, as Elizabeth says. There's a song by the Beatles, Can't Buy Me Love. You guys know that song. Money can't buy you love. Money can't buy you happiness. But as Robert Kiyosaki says, the guy that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, he's fond of saying in many of his books, look, being broke stinks. But I have been depressed and rich, and I've been depressed and broke. Life is much better when you're depressed and rich than when you're
Yeah. At least
depressed.
you can go get you an ice cream or something, you know?
Absolutely. So we're encouraging absolutely to do everything you can to earn a little bit more money, but don't make the pursuit of money your only mission in life. It's only a tool that you can use to maybe make your life a little bit easier. Ominous Mango, you are back. How are you? Not only are you back, but did you give us a like? That would be great. What is good? What is good is that you are back here in this live stream, and we're happy to have you. Arc Unknown. I had a friend who gave me good advice that has stuck with me. Instead of focusing on the money, be the love, and the money will come where it's needed. It's not bad. It's not bad advice. There's also a book that's called, I forget what it's called, or the philosophy is do what you. Or there's a book called Do What You Love, and the money will follow. Be careful with that. The sentiment is right, but it's also dangerous too, because too many people just think, oh, all I need to do is do what I love. Let's just say YouTube, and the money's just going to magically follow, even if I don't make any changes, even if I don't look at the analytics. And if I just did what I love with YouTube and hoping the money would follow, I would never have thought, hey, this isn't working. It's been 16 years. Let me try something new. Hey, this YouTube live looks interesting. Thanks for the like. We're up to 6 now. Hoping we can get up to 7. We're going to see. Steve, do you think we're going to get to 7?
I think we're going to get to 10.
10. Oh my gosh. Now that is thinking big. That's what I
I'm a
like.
dreamer.
Steve is a dreamer. That's right. He's a role model for his kids to look up to him. We were talking with the, I don't even know what I was talking about. Somebody took the like away. They gave the like and they took it away. He giveth and he taketh away. Is God in this channel? He gave the like and then he took it away. Oh, we got the like back again. I had a friend who gave me good advice. Yeah, instead of focusing on the money, what I was saying is be very careful about that idea of do what you love and the money will follow. Because you need to understand, you also need to approach what you love like a business. I'm realizing, Monroe, this YouTube thing is 16 years. It's not working. And I was thinking, Monroe, how are these people making so much money? Why are you not engaging with them? And people kept saying, Monroe, you're such a good speaker. And somebody, I actually know what inspired me. I did a TEDx recently in New York called The 8 Words That Will Change Your Life Forever. You can search MonroeMann TEDx, you'll find it. I got booked for a second TEDx, and while I was talking with one of the people who runs this new TEDx, she said to me, Monroe, I love hearing you talk. If you did a podcast, I would listen to that. And it got me thinking, but I didn't want to go to the effort of setting up a podcast studio and blah, blah. I have so much else going on. But then I was just on YouTube and I saw the button that said live. And I thought, whoa, let me just try that. Maybe I can do something like that on YouTube. And that's how this has started to work. But it was my marketing mind working. It was not me just thinking, oh, I'm going to do what I love and the money's going to follow. It was do what you love and approach it like a business and the money will follow. Because it was only the approach it like a business aspect that got me thinking, how could I do a podcast without actually doing a podcast? And how funny, it ended up being YouTube, which is something I already love to do. But it was a great solution that just presented itself, but I only realized it because I was thinking, how can I create a podcast without doing a podcast? Which had nothing to do with do what you love and the money will follow. Because YouTube is what I love. The idea of doing a podcast did not appeal to me. And you know what I found out just recently? Because I was doing research. And I said, I don't want to do a lot of work to make this a podcast. People were saying, oh, Monroe, you should download this stream every day and then upload it to Spotify and to Apple Music and all that. And I'm thinking, Oh my gosh, here we go. This sounds like a lot of work. I don't want to do that. I found this website called Podbean, pretty cool, that will automatically take your live streams after you do them and upload them to the podcasting channels automatically. I don't have to do anything. I haven't set this up yet, but imagine if these live streams are also on Spotify and they're also on Apple Podcasts. Maybe I'll reach a whole different audience of people. Not only more people will come watch here, but I will find people that aren't even on YouTube. Any thoughts, Steve, by the way, on what I'm sharing?
Just that I've never had the freedom of um, pursuing something I love as far as work goes. I've always just jumped to whatever job was going to pay me more. So,
Which is not bad. A lot of people do that, but let me ask you, what would you love to do, Steve?
I
Like
don't even know. I don't
maybe
know.
that maybe that's the issue. I think that's an issue a lot of people have. They don't know really what they love, so they just follow the money. And that may not be a bad strategy in terms of providing for your family, but are you providing for yourself by just doing a job because it pays a lot of money? I quit jobs all the time. I think maybe you've heard me on some of my other podcasts here because the money's never enough to keep me there because the job is usually terrible. The bosses usually treat me poorly. I don't get enough time off. I don't get appreciated enough. It's so easy to appreciate people. I appreciate you, Steve. Thank you for joining this live stream. You guys in the chat, I appreciate you guys immensely. Arc Unknown, Ominous Mango, Elizabeth Peterson, Erica, all that stuff. By the way, I'm going to get to all these comments here. Stand by. Don't leave. Ominous Mango. I do get to all the comments. It just takes a moment because we have tangents. And when there's a special guest, it takes even longer because we got two people talking. Let's go to the next one. Elizabeth says, last week I was walking past the street and saw children bullying one child. And I went to the bully and told the bully that what happens in the dark always comes to light. The moral of the story is that respect those and they respect you back. One thing, good job going to the bully and trying to protect the other person. Also, be careful. In the New York City subway the other day, somebody was getting bullied and somebody else went up to interfere and say stop. And that person pulled out a knife and started stabbing the other person. So again, there's an expression, don't be a hero. I don't like that expression because we need heroes in this world. And there are times when it does make sense to put your life in danger to help others. But always be careful when you try to be a good Samaritan and you're getting involved in some dispute. Don't go into that thinking that they're not going to turn on you. And always be aware that someone may have a weapon that they just have not shown. This person thought he was doing a good, heroic, lovely thing by saying, hey, stop, leave that woman alone, and didn't see any weapon. And then suddenly this crazy guy pulls out a knife and starts stabbing the person who's trying to help. And I think this applies to parenting too. You have to protect. Well, I guess with parents it wouldn't matter. If it's your kid, I'm sure, Steve, you're going to go and protect your kid no matter what, regardless of the consequences. Am I right?
Yep.
So if it's your kid or your family, your loved one, your friend, of course, maybe you just throw caution to the wind. If it's a perfect stranger that you're going in to help, I encourage you to help them, but please also I encourage you to think twice. Maybe look around and see, can I escape if this person decides to go after me? Is there someone else around who can join me? So there are two people who are approaching this person. Look around to see, is there a police officer nearby who I could go to for help instead? I'm the person who likes to help people. And if I see somebody being hurt in the street, I would tend to probably go to help. But I'm also smart enough to know, wait, you might be the hero here, or you might become the new victim. And you don't even help the person. I see this all the time sometimes when somebody's drowning. I'm a former lifeguard. And you see a story of somebody was drowning, and then their two friends went in to try to save that person, and all three of them die. Because they didn't think, you know what, that water is so dangerous that it's crazy for anyone to jump in without a life jacket. but they're thinking immediately, oh, I want to be the hero. I want to help save that person. Sometimes being the hero is not the best action that you need to take. Steve, what is your take?
Yeah, my first thought is I know with scuba diving when they go cave exploring things like that, that is a rule that if you end up if you freak out and when they start moving around a lot and stuff, all that soot and stuff that settles on the bottom kicks up, and the rule is that they just leave you to die. Because if you try to go in and help somebody in a situation like that, you're pretty much signing your own death ticket too.
Absolutely, it's a perfect analogy. By the way, can you bring your camera down a little bit because the chat messages are covering up your face? Yeah, and you're such a handsome guy. We want our viewers to be able to see that. All right. And arc unknown. More important than chasing money is developing a healthy relationship with it. Couldn't say it better myself. Well said. How do you make money as a Canadian on YouTube when it's not allowed? Erica, are you still here? First of all, let me know if you're still here in the chat. Breadloaf wants me to do some rap. Today is not a rap, but I'll come back. Maybe I'll do one rap at the end of the live stream.
I saw some of that earlier.
What did you think of it? Did it
It was
work?
something. I found it interesting how quickly you discovered that your mind wants to go back to those words you've already used, and it makes it very difficult to.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, and I think you realize you. I guess yeah, I don't know. Psychologically, maybe you think just of that one word, even though there are a number of other words. Erica, you still here? I don't know. Erica may not be here, but I'll answer her question anyway. I made money already from YouTube the other day, 2 days ago. Someone just sent me $5 on Cash App. And the Cash App, now I put the Cash App in the description to every video because maybe some viewer is going to say, hey, I want to support this guy's channel. I'm also going to start to create a Patreon account potentially, which will allow people to become subscribers so they can give me $5 per month automatically, like a subscription. Those are two things that I believe are allowed in Canada. And if not, something similar can be, I'm sure, exists in Canada, where I'm sure PayPal exists in Canada and PayPal has subscriptions. You can also use a YouTube channel to become an expert on a subject and then encourage people to hire you. So if you just do a specific YouTube about, let's just say, finance, and then people get to know you as the finance expert, then people can go to your finance website and maybe hire you. I know a lot about finance. I have a financial website. If any of you want, you can go to monroemannfinancialplan.com or investlikeaninvestor.com. The links are in the description. And guess what? If somebody hires me because of these videos and they found me on YouTube, guess what? I just made money from YouTube, but I was using YouTube as a marketing tool, not as the financial generation tool. And so that's the difference. Once I get to 3,000 hours and 4,000 watch hours, then I'll actually be making money from YouTube itself. By the way, is there anything you want to promote, Steve?
Oh no, I got nothing.
All he wants to promote is his wisdom and his 4 beautiful kids. And Arc Unknown says approach it like a business is very important. We have so many opportunities in the USA, but to learn the legalities and learn marketing branding is the boring part many people skip. 100%. And that's why I don't like the idea of do what you love and the money will follow. It's like if you only do what you love, maybe the money follows. And if it is, you'll lose it very quickly because you know nothing about investment and money and business. And that's the case with a lot of NBA stars or professional athletes, a lot of people who become overnight success movie stars or models. They never learned about money. They never learned about business and finance. The result being they end up squandering all their money and they lose it. Not so great. For me, be the love does not necessarily mean do what you love to make money, but to have a bigger reason. Simply Harps is back. Breadloaf rap. I have an extra job for everyone. All right, why is that? That's weird. The person's YouTube name changed from one line to the next. That's very strange. So let's put the user in a timeout for 5 minutes for doing some weird promotion. Don't know what that is. I don't mind if you actually have a job opportunity for people, but don't change your screen name as the way to post the message in the chat, because then we know you're up to something suspicious. Very strange. So not cool. All right, Breadloaf wants a rap. Hey, Steve, do you want to try to do a rap?
No,
All right.
no.
Steve does not want to do a rap. Breadloaf and Simply Harps, are you both still here? If you are both still here, or at least one of you still here, I will give you a rap. But I need to know that you are in the chat. We'll do a rap about parenting. Did they just come and then just disappear? What is there anything I was just talking about now, Steve, that I didn't let you speak about?
I kind of want to go back to what Arco Known was saying about how, you know, he likes the idea of more of having a reason for providing, or working, and he talks about providing for your family. It can also be difficult. I think it's easy for a lot of people to lose what's important, about providing for your family when you're working a job that you don't really care about, and over enough time, it's like all the money you make is just disappearing. It can be very demoralizing, and so you got to find ways to keep it interesting, keep yourself motivated, and 'cause sometimes that alone is not enough. It's hard to see that. It's hard you can't providing for your family. A lot of times you can't. There's no accomplishment. It's hard to see the reward sometimes if that's the only thing that motivates you.
If money is the only thing that motivates you, is that what you're saying?
Just the idea of just providing for your family. I think a lot of people, if that's the only reason why they're working, it can be demoralizing
Oh yeah,
after a
you
long
you
enough time.
start to feel. Oh, by the way, pull the camera up again because your head is
Sorry.
being lost by the comments. You're saying you start to feel like you're being taken advantage of, and your only existence is to make money to provide for the family. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying that a lot of people can lose focus of what's important and why they're doing it, and yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a. This goes back. I talk about this all the time in all my things. You need to have a really good why for anything you do in life. Why do you get up in the morning? We need that. Why do you go to work? Why are you still at your current job? Or why are you still at your current school? Why do you get straight A's if you get them? Or why don't you get straight A's? Just thinking constantly, asking your why? Let me see. Hey, have you guys tried Prime before? Do you mean Amazon Prime? Is that
No,
what you're talking about? Or Prime Beef? Or
it's a
Optimus
drink.
Prime?
It's a drink by Jake
Oh,
Paul, Logan Paul.
oh, she saw me
There.
drinking that from the bottle. I
Yeah, it's
did
a
try
Gatorade.
Prime once. I didn't like the flavor as much as I do Gatorade. Arco known. I had to learn to put my dreams aside to pursue other ventures. I wanted to be a music producer, but now I'm doing a totally different business that has more success rate for me. Let me ask you this, Arco. Do you still have a dream in your heart to be a music producer? That's the most important thing. I'm not going to say anything more about this until you say yes or no. Because I know that your totally different business might have a bigger success rate for you, but that's not the question. Do you still have a dream to be a music producer? And while we're waiting for that, Elizabeth is asking about Prime. Do you like Prime more than Gatorade, or do you like Powerade, or what is your favorite sports drink?
I've never tried Prime, but I do like Gatorade.
And I don't want to criticize Prime unfairly. I only had one flavor, and there are some Gatorade flavors that I don't really like either. So maybe I need to try a different flavor. Yes, I plan to pursue it in time. Remember what I told you guys, winners do it now. You may not have time. Maybe you die in a year. Maybe you die tomorrow. Start pursuing your dream today. Obviously, the likelihood that you die today or even in a year is statistically pretty low. But please don't wait. I'm glad if you have a business that is a good success rate for you, that's great. You've got some money and you've got a sense of success. You've learned a wonderful set of business skills. Start putting them to test. You can do a music producer career on the side, 5 hours a week. This week, start working on the name. Next week, work on the website. Next week, get your employee identification number. Next week, start coming up with your offers. Next week, start getting some business card. Next week, get some. Go to some music events and start passing out your card. You could be a music producer literally tomorrow if you just start telling people that you are. And then if you really hustle, you could have a business up and running with a real website by the end of summer. So that's my advice. Elizabeth is saying, sorry, I mean, I like Prime. Oh, okay, no problem. What is your favorite Prime flavor? I think the only one that I tried, the one that would look like it was red, white, and blue. Are there other flavors that you recommend that Steve and I try to get a good sense of what the wild world of Prime sports drink is really all about? Nico, I think I remember you. I haven't seen you in a long time. If I do, what live stream were you on? Can you remind me where you were? And you notice in the chat room we have embrace change as the thing that is pinned by moderator Arc Unknown. By the way, thank you. I appreciate you, Arc Unknown, for being one of the moderators here on this channel. And I see Steve nodding his head very solemnly. Yes.
I approve.
Steve approves. And embracing change is important. What did Albert Einstein say, or supposedly say? The only two certainties in life are, I don't know who said these, is one of them is death and taxes. Okay. And somebody else said something about change. Oh no, it was Einstein said that the only, I think, yeah, I don't know who it was. There are two quotes that I remember. One of them is the only two certainties in life are death and taxes. Maybe it was Ben Franklin or something. And the other one is the only certainty in life is change. And they both kind of say the same thing, but we're talking about change. You can't be sad. I mean, you can be sad. That's the human condition. We get sad when there's change, but you have to embrace it. If you have a pet right now, I have that little dog, little Dancer. There's going to be change. Either I'm going to die before Dancer dies, or Dancer's going to die before me. And it's a crazy thing. I'm going to die first, or my mom is going to die first. Steve is going to die first, or his wife is going to die first. It's just a statistical reality. Change is something that we have to embrace. And if the more we can learn to understand that, maybe life becomes a little easier when we don't start complaining so much, just going, all right, it's going to happen. Got to deal with it. Let's see. Try lemon, ice pop, and raspberry. And Arc Unknown, can you read that comment, Steve? My voice is starting to hurt here. It says, I totally
get that, Steve, about working jobs that you're indifferent about. It can be very tough. Got to spice it up somehow and take care of yourself as well. Yeah. And kind of go back to what you were saying about racing change. The first thing that always comes to my mind about people being afraid of change and things like that is I still go back sometimes to that job I had when I was 18, and there's still 5 people there that I worked with that are still working there today. And to me, that blows my mind. I can't believe they're still there, because some of those people were very smart, feel like they had a lot more going on than I did, and I know they had dreams and things they wanted to achieve and jobs they wanted to pursue, and for whatever reason they just never made that change. And that's one of the first things I think about when I face something in my life that's going to change, and I get afraid of it. The first thought is My first thought is those 5 people that are still in the same spot.
That is, I'm going to come back to that in a second. Your voice your voice volume dropped like in half. Was that? Can anyone else? Did anyone else notice that Steve's voice, the audio dropped in half? Please let me know. And what's up,
Can you hear
Kimco?
me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. It's still lower than before. I don't know what happened. Kimco, great to see you. Nico, you're Nico from EF. What's up, man? Nico's one of my former students from when I was teaching here at EF in Miami Beach. Great to see you, my friend. Are you still here in the chat? Kimco saying change promotes growth. Change promotes growth 100%. But here's the thing: change promotes growth in the people who embrace it. For some people, change promotes failure because they give up or they get overwhelmed. So
They
we
just
have to,
freeze.
yeah, they just freeze 100%. So this is what we're saying. And what's up, Nico? Great. We still need to finish that song. He was helping me produce one of the songs that I wrote. And actually, by the way, Arc Unknown, talk to Nico. Reach out to Nico. Nico, he's a young guy, but he is doing amazing music producing stuff at a young age. And I know the two of you guys will get along, so maybe you could subscribe to each other and get in touch. Nico, this guy Arc Unknown wants to get into music producing, and Nico, you're already doing that, so maybe we have a business connection here. Amen. I say that because it's helped me grow. Absolutely. And change has promoted your growth, Kimco, because you have an embrace change mindset. Oh, before we go, please click like. I know there are some new people in the chat who just joined. We're trying to get up to 10. That's what Steve said. Steve said we're getting to 10 likes on this live stream. And I'm really hoping we can get there. If we can even get to 8, we got to 7. That's something. That's something. I don't understand why YouTube doesn't allow private messaging, at least between creators and fans. Does that make sense?
Yeah, when you were asking me to go to your website and send you an email and stuff, I was like, I bet I can just click on his name or something and message him. And I couldn't
Yeah,
figure out how to do it. So I
it,
was like, I
it,
guess you can't.
it's weird. I don't know why. I wonder if Google is specifically doing it because they don't. Maybe they have a an agreement with Facebook and Twitter and all those, and saying, "Hey, we're not going to go into that." But Instagram is sort of like YouTube, and you can still write to people on Instagram. Why can't you write to people on YouTube? I don't understand it. Really, really crazy. And it's weird too. Like uh, Nico and Arc Unknown are both talking here in the chat, and I'm trying to introduce them. They have to figure out some crazy way to get in touch because they can't get in touch on YouTube. Super bonkers. Like Arc Unknown needs to save his or her Instagram or Twitter or something. And I feel like for safety reasons, it would be better that they allowed in app messaging on here, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm hoping someone, hey, YouTube AI, because I know you're looking at every single word that gets said during every one of these live chats. Please give us the ability to write to each other on YouTube. Isaiah Perez Hill, great to have you here. Please click like. We're trying to get up to 10. This is Steve's first ever live stream as a guest, and his one wish is that we can have 10 likes on this
No,
live stream.
I demand 10.
He is demanding 10. He's throwing down the gauntlet. Anyone who doesn't give us, if we don't get 10 likes, there's going to be a battle royal here. Uh, Kimco, 7 is one of my favorite numbers too. Why? My birthday is November 7th. So anytime I got 7, I love it. Why do you like 7? Why is 7 your favorite number? Thank you for liking and sharing. What's up, Simply Harps? You're back. Okay, I said that when either Simply Harps or that other person came back, I would do a little rap about parenthood. So let's see if I can do one. Here on the live stream, I got a dad called Goodkat. He looks super handsome, but his beard makes him look like a rat. He's got 4 kids, and 2 of them are twins. But I promise you, they're all children. None of them have fins. One's going to college, going off real soon. He's so proud of her, she's shooting to the moon. I'm glad we just got to 10 amazing likes, because that makes me feel like I'm having the time of my life. Boom, boom, boom. That was a good rap. The rap got me to 10. Is that kind of weird?
It was destiny.
No, it was the fact that you demanded it. Emperor King Goodkat threw down the gauntlet and got us to 10. Here's my thing is, where the heck are all these people? There were all these people in this chat the whole time. They didn't give a like. That's why I think the number of people watching is not accurate. I think there are a lot of times more people watching than it actually displays here on the screen. And let me see some of these. Isaiah, when you say you like and share, what do you mean? I know what you mean by like. You're saying you share this live stream with somebody else? Love to know what you're talking about. I Simply Harps. Yes, okay. I hope you're happy, Simply Harps, because I gave you the rap. And Elizabeth, you can thank Simply Harps for that rap, because she was on my live stream this morning where I did an hour of this improvisational rap. Mr. Goodkat was lurking in the background. We went down to 9. Who took it away? Put it back. Put it back. Put back that like. There it is. The like went back. Poopy Kimco says, I always won the cake on musical chairs when I'd sit in the seat number 7. And since then, it's been a good number for me. Hey, if you've got whatever you got, make it work. They do say that you're more likely, at least I think I read this somewhere, you're statistically more likely to win the lottery if you always play the same numbers, because this way the numbers are eventually going to hit those numbers that you pick, supposedly. But as you saw from another live stream I did a week ago, don't play the lotto, because that is a really bad use of your money. Better to put that money into the S&P 500 or just savings account. Crazy. Okay. Pimco. Oh, Pimco wants me to rap. For people who don't know, that it looks like it's spam, but it's not spam. They are lack, can, plan, spammed, Iran. All right, I'll do one more rap. So Isaiah Hill, he's got nothing to lack. On the road with his dad and his backpack. He's going hiking through the woods with a spoon and a can. He's so stoked to be with his dad because his dad's his old man. No, Isaiah, undelete those messages. That's part of my rap. I needed those words to rap from. Not a problem because you didn't know. But can you undelete them, by the way? Man, took away my inspiration. How can an artist work like this? I can't work under these conditions. So, yeah, people, Kimco, don't time that person out. I need to make it clear then to my moderators when I'm changing things around. People, Kimco, don't leave. Isaiah made a mistake. He didn't know that you were giving me inspirational. You were my muse to help me with the rap. No problem, Isaiah. I understand that was something I did this morning. I need to make that clear with my. If you're ever unsure, just put in the chat like, "Hey, Monroe, should I block this person?" Or ask the other people, because maybe some other people will know as well what's going on. What's up, Chicken Nuggets? Nice to see you, Gemma. And people, Kimco, please don't leave. And by the way, 300 seconds is a really long time to time somebody out. If it's the first time, you can always do it for just a minute at first to just kind of, if you think someone's doing something wrong, and that way they'll kind of go, oh, maybe that wasn't correct. So, but I think 300 seconds is that 5 minutes? People Kimco, I'm gonna do a rap to you, People Kimco, while we're waiting to make up for this. And Isaiah, don't feel bad. It's okay. It wasn't your fault. Okay. Got a great new fan named Poopy Kimco. And here I got a little secret I'll tell you on the down low. Isaiah Perez, he is my mod. He made a simple mistake, but I gave him the head nod. I'm not so mad because I know you didn't know. But next time, be careful and let the rap flow. All right, let's say I'm hoping Kimco comes back. Uh, Still rapping as good as 2 years ago. Thanks, Nico. No, you're not in trouble. Just don't do. If you see people putting words that are rhyming, and we were talking about the rap and stuff, give them an opportunity to, because maybe that'll inspire me to do the rap thing. But if they're using foul words or they're doing the same word over and over and over and over again, then that's maybe an issue. Did I practice rapping? Not really. I've done a lot of improvisational comedy over the years, and I've always loved it. And I always thought it would be fun to do improvisational music, and I would do that every once in a while by myself. I've never done it publicly, and I was going to do my guitar, but then I was just on the live stream last night, and at the end of it, I just started doing the improvisational rapping randomly, and people actually liked it. So this morning, I got up and did a full hour of the improvisational rap, and again, people said, "Hey, this is fun. This is cool." They're not the greatest raps, and it's not the most amazing talent, this or that, but it was exciting that everyone got to be a part of it and was able to share words that they wanted me to rap and things like that. So yeah, hi Gemma. I remember you. You were here when we were actually talking about chicken nuggets. So I totally remember that. And again, Kimco, please come back. Isaiah, if you could find Poopy Kimco's channel and leave a comment and make sure that that person knows that it wasn't unintentional and that you didn't mean to do that, that would be fantastic. I think has it been 5 minutes yet, or is Poopy Kimco still in the doghouse? Oh, I think I can click on that person and no. Uh, yeah. So Isaiah, be very, very careful about always do 1 minute timeouts first. I've even learned this too. I'm putting people in 1 minute timeouts before you just got to escalate it. Start in 1 minute. If the person comes back and does a problem, then you do another minute. If they do it again, then go up to 5 minutes. If they do it again, 30, then an hour. And then if they come back on another live stream and keep doing it, then we block them. I'm realizing some people might just be playing around and they might not realize. And uh, CLVR is back. Good to have you. We're waiting here to see if our friend Kimco returns.
So I have a question for you.
Mm.
This goes back to the first conversation we had back on June 6th when we were talking about D-Day and things like that.
Oh, hold on. Let me interrupt real quick.
Okay.
Kimco, you're back. That was a misunderstanding. I apologize. Isaiah didn't know. I'm not mad at Isaiah, but now we know that it was a rap. And go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to ask, because we kind of were talking about today's youth, younger men, how they handle the idea of becoming a man and things like that. Do you think if there was something like a draft today, and say we had another situation like D-Day with today's generation, how would that go down? Do you think? Do you think
That
we
is
would?
that is an amazing question. And I think if we were attacked, I think we'd have two reactions. There's still a lot of people who are patriotic Americans. And I think many of them would step up to the challenge. I also think there would be so many people who are saying, "No way! I hate this country. This country is terrible. There's no way I'm going to go die for this country or this or that." Blah blah blah. It's a very very interesting question. It's like the new movie A Civil War that came out recently about could there be another civil war in America? And I think that would be another interesting movie of if there were a brand new draft, how that would play out. I think that's a fascinating concept, and I still think the majority of Americans are patriotic Americans. I think what we see on the media and what we see with these protests going around the country that are disrupting everything, I don't think they represent the best and brightest and the majority. I think that I think if and especially if we had another Pearl Harbor type attack, because when September 11th happened, people were amazed at how many people decided to join the military then. So I still think we have those folks there. I think a lot of people who are patriotic Americans are scared to speak up today because it seems like everybody is against America and everybody against is against patriotism, and everyone's scared to say anything for fear of being canceled or being ridiculed or losing friends, and things can travel so far now because of the internet. So that's my take on that, and we'll come back. I'll get your take on that as well since you added. Let me ask. And they were mice eating your cheese and everything. That's right. That's what I was talking. That was I was rapping about this morning. Bathroom break. I'm back. You're not mad. You get it. Cool. You have 11 likes. Yeah, we have met our requirement for the evening. We got 11 likes. Thanks so much, Elizabeth Peterson. For any of the new guys here, please click like. Please click subscribe. In about 5 minutes, probably going to end the stream. But I first want to get Steve's take on what he just asked. Do you agree with my take on it, or do you have a different perspective?
I do. I agree. I think a lot of people think that we're soft now. This generation is a term I hear a lot. They say we're very, today's generation so soft. They couldn't survive a draft. But I think if the situation arose, I think, like you said, enough people would come forward that do want to serve, that do want to help the country and things like that. And
Absolutely. Let's hope we don't have to find out. Let's hope we don't have another Pearl Harbor or 9/11. And oh gosh, my little thing is falling behind me. I bought this thing on Amazon just to keep my chair from getting dirty from the sweat of our hair. We have so much sweat in our dirty, sweaty hair. People don't realize that. You can wash your hair in the morning. By afternoon, that thing is filled with dust and grime and sweat. And make sure you protect your chairs. That's the bit. That's the. And I want to embrace change, but not having a big stain on the top of my chair because of my sweaty head. And so CLVR, who's one of my fans on here, he's going to do a live stream right after this. I'm going to go check that out for at least 5 minutes. Then I got to go help my mom. Uh, Anytime you can go to CLVR's live stream, it'll help him get some watch time, which will lead him to getting towards eventually being monetized. Would love you to subscribe to him. Let's give a round of applause and give some hearts, please. Give some emojis for Mr. Goodkat, Steve, my special guest for today. We're not finishing till we get a few hearts flying up. So I got to see a few. Got to see some hearts. Monroe, man, you know what's crazy? I left Texas to go on my road trip, and I had to get the trailer, and I had to go back to Texas. Hey, embrace change, Isaiah. I see a heart. I see some hearts. I see some hearts for Mr. Goodkat. My mom is doing okay. I'm gonna go see her in a little bit. I'm gonna go watch some TV with her and go play with Dancer, the little dog. So I thank you so much for your kind words. I wish the best to all of your mothers, all of your fathers, all of your daughters, all of your sons, and all of your friends. You guys are fantastic. Steve, thank you so much. This was
I
fun.
had a great time. I
And
was When you first invited me, I was nervous about doing a little bit, but it's like I said, you got to try new things. So
I
I
would
told you
love.
I'd be here, so I'm here. I
Would
came a
you?
day early, even.
You did come a day early. Would you like to? Would you come back again?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys. Uh, Even though Mr. Goodkat doesn't do YouTube, go ahead and give a subscription to him. Maybe we'll inspire him the more he now that he's
Yeah,
done
I think
this
I think I
live.
have like 13 or something. I have 13 subscribers.
Let's get him to 15.
I
Let's
don't know
get him to
why, but
15.
they're there.
Yeah, Isaiah, you're still a moderator. That's fine. You didn't do anything wrong. You just were mistaken. That doesn't mean you were wrong. You thought that that was spam. It just wasn't. It was him giving. Kimco was giving great ideas for me to rap. So it's cool. And even Kimco knows that it was an honest mistake. As long as you're learning from this, and you'll get better and better about moderating, you'll know more about me and my personality and what this channel is about. And you'll eventually uh, be the best moderator in the history of YouTube. And YouTube is gonna give you a big plaque and a check for $20,000. Wow, best moderator ever, Isaiah
See,
Perez
that'd be
Hill.
another good reason why YouTube should allow communication between users, because he can ask another moderator about, hey, how should I handle this situation? Hey, should we do something about this? But
Yeah,
it's not
it's
an option.
it's really strange. I don't understand it. And somebody like Isaiah could have sent a message to Kimco through the. So again, let's make a maybe we need to start a petition to ask for private messaging here on YouTube because I think it would be easier. I bet if we did a Google search or a Yahoo search or Bing, maybe we would find an answer why there's no private messaging. Maybe there's some rationale. I haven't figured it out yet. To me, I think would make it a lot easier. I don't know. I'm happy that I inspire you, Isaiah. Thanks for telling me that you look at my videos every day. I'm seeing the watch time going up. I'm seeing my subscribers going up. The likes are going up. There are hearts going like crazy. You guys give me such hope and belief that maybe I can actually turn this into a viable business. You've actually, because of you inspiring me, I was able to inspire CLVR to come on my live stream and inspire Steve to join. And he said he's going to come back again and save some more of his wise words, share more of his wise words and wisdom with the world. Sylvia inspired me to start doing live streams. I love it. Isaiah said he checked when my next blood stream was. I'm not doing blood streams, my friend. That's crazy. I don't want to do a blood stream. I want to do a live stream. And it said it was in 34 hours, and it let me notify so I can watch. Can you scroll up and read my comment? Yes, I'm scrolling up now, Kimco. Yeah, all I see is it says it was a simple, honest mistake. You have a great day, guys. Nice chilling again. Yes, it was. By the way, can we get one more like? I think there's someone here who has not given a like. I think we can get 12. I know we can get to 12. Come on, 12 likes for Monroe and Steve. His name is Mr. Goodkat on YouTube. What more could you ask for?
You know what that's from?
No.
There's a movie called Lucky Number 11.
Yes, I saw that movie with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, Bruce Willis plays as Mr. Goodkat. He's the assassin.
You are the. I didn't know you were an assassin. If I'd known, I wouldn't have had you on my live stream.
Yeah, I'm not an assassin. That was just my favorite character when I was younger. I don't know, but
That's funny,
that's where
Mr.
that name
Goose.
came from.
Well, thank you. Know what's funny? It sounded familiar, and I was thinking Mr. Goodbar, but I said no. But that's not why I remember it. It's because of Lucky number 11. All right. Well, hey, you win some and you lose some. We didn't get to 12 likes today, but 11 is pretty impressive. Really excited about that. Let me see if there are any last comments. It says, "Can you do a video about our eyes?" You need to explain to me what that means. What do you mean a video about our eyes? You mean our eyes? Our eyes consists of multiple biological features, including the cornea and the lens. Is that what you mean? Steve, do you have any idea what he's talking about?
Nope.
Can you do video about our eyes? I have no idea what that means, but if you can explain it to me in a chat, in a comment on one of my videos, I'll consider doing something about our eyes if it makes sense. Give a
Maybe because
round of
someone
applause.
said something about a bloodstream.
What's that?
Maybe because someone said something about a bloodstream. He wants an eye stream.
Yeah, I don't know what
What hurts
hurts
them?
them or not.
Like things that make you cry?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. Are you talking about things that hurt us emotionally, or things that actually hurt our eyes, like looking at a YouTube live stream of Monroe and Steve for 90 minutes? Because that'll hurt your eyes. My eyes are hurting right now. My eyes are tired. And send a comment to me on YouTube on one of these videos, and we can talk about that on there. To the rest of you guys, have a beautiful night. Have a beautiful morning if you are out in Asia. And right now it is 9:15 p.m. where I am. It's 8:15, I think, or 8:15.
Yep.
8:15 where Steve is, and we will figure this out. Sylvia, I still don't know. I mean, like, what hurts your eyes and what doesn't. That's pretty common sense. If you put a pen in your eye, it's going to hurt. If you put eye drops in your eyes to help with a bacterial infection, that might help and not hurt. All right. Have a good night, guys. Thanks, Arc Unknown. Thanks for moderating. Thanks, Isaiah, for moderating. It's 3 a.m. in Europe. That's right. So it's a good night and an early morning for Nico. In South Africa, it's 3 a.m. Asif Gushman, great to see you for the first time on the channel. Hope you'll subscribe. Hope you'll click like. Come back. We got lots of great stuff here on the MonroeMann YouTube channel. Please also subscribe to the Breakdiving channel and Intertech Global. Those are my two other companies. They're in the description. Say goodbye, Steve.
Check out breakdiving.io.
That's right.
Become a member.
Steve,
Intertech.
you better become a member of breakdiving.io too after you just promoted it. So I will give you 24 hours to submit an application to become a member of breakdiving.io. Pinky
Okay.
promise?
I'll do it.
All right.
Promise.
Sounds good. I want somebody in Texas anyway. So this will be fantastic. In Illinois, it's 8:13. That's great. CLVR. Goodbye, Nico. Nico, let's keep in touch. Let's try to finish producing that song that we were working on. I think it's got potential. And now that I got this live stream, we can do a premiere of the song when it's done produced on my live stream, and then we could, as people are listening to it, we could be here in a live stream. So got a lot of potential now. Have a great night, Nico, Elizabeth Peterson, Sylvia, Isaiah, Arc Unknown, Kimco. Love you guys. Have a great night. We just got 12 likes. Wow.
We made it. 12. We made it.
Let me stop it before they take the like away. Bye, guys.
Bye.